Easter! We've made it to Easter Sunday. If you have been following the Easter Storybooks, this is the final episode and the final part of our Easter story. If you haven't, do not worry. Today's story will mainly make sense without you having had to have done the rest of the week. So it is Easter. How exciting. I wonder how many of you have already opened your Easter eggs. I bet there's a few of you at home that have. I've got mine right here. I haven't opened it yet. But have you ever thought about why we have eggs, usually chocolate ones, but why do we think about eggs at Easter? What on earth have they got to do with Easter Sunday? We're going to have a talk about that after today's story. So let's listen to the story of the resurrection. Early in the morning, on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and saw that the stone was moved away. From the entrance, she ran at once to Simon Peter and the other disciple, breathlessly panting, "They took my master from the tomb. We don't know where they've put him." Peter and the other disciple ran neck and neck. The other disciple got to the tomb first, outrunning Peter. Stooping to look in, he saw the pieces of cloth lying there. Simon Peter arrived after him, entered the tomb, and too saw the cloths lying there. Then the other disciple, the one who had gotten there first, went into the tomb, took one look at the cloths, and believed. The disciples then went back home. But Mary stood outside the tomb weeping. As she wept, she knelt to look into the tomb, and saw two angels sitting there, at the head and at the foot of where Jesus' body had been laid. They said to her, "Woman, why do you weep?" "They took my master," she said, "and I don't know where they put him." After she said this, she turned away and saw Jesus standing there, but she didn't recognize him. Jesus spoke to her, "Woman, why do you weep? Who are you looking for?" She thought he was the gardener and said, "Master, if you took him, tell me where you put him so I can care for him." Jesus said, "Mary." Turning to face him, she said, "Teacher." Jesus said, "Go to my brothers and tell them, I ascend to my Father and your Father, my God and your God." Later on that day, the disciples had gathered together. But fearful of the Jews, had locked all the doors in the house. Jesus entered, stood among them, and said, "Peace to you." Wow! So Jesus came back to life. The tomb had had the stone rolled away and was empty. And then Jesus appeared to Mary and to the disciples. He was alive again. So let's have a look at this Easter egg. I asked you before why we might have Easter eggs. What does this Easter egg, now that I've opened it up, look a bit like from our story? It looks a little bit like a tomb, and then this could be the stone that rolled away to show that Jesus has come back to life. So the egg reminds us that Jesus came back to life. He resurrected. He did not stay dead. An egg in itself is a symbol of new life. Eggs are often used as a sign of spring, as a sign of baby chicks being born and coming to life. So again, it reminds us that Jesus came back to life. But not only that, that because Jesus came back to life, we have a hope of a new life in heaven with God. One day we will have new life in heaven with God because Jesus came back to life. That's an amazing hope to have. I wonder what you think heaven will be like and what new life in heaven with God will be like. It's a fantastic hope that we have. So as you eat your Easter eggs today, I want you to remember the empty tomb, to remember that Jesus came back to life, and to remember that we have a hope that one day we will have a new life in heaven with God. As well as our Easter eggs to remind us of that, we also have an activity that you can get on with. Kids, you could get on with this while the adults listen to their talk later on. So we're going to make an Easter garden. There are different ways in which you can do this, and I'm not going to be able to show them all. I'm just going to give you some ideas. So you could make an Easter garden in a pot. I've planted some flower. You've taken a pot that has a few flowers in it. I've got a little mini flower pot that we started off growing some seeds in. You could also make it out of stones. I've put that there for my tomb, and I've put a stone there as the stone that rolled away. And I've put a lollipop stick across there as well. Okay. Or you could use a yogurt pot or a plastic cup. All I've done is folded some card over, covered the bottom of the card with green paper and the top with blue. You could paint or colour it. I've stuck on my cup and I've cut a circle out of some card and written "He is risen" to make the stone for my tomb that's rolled away. And the other way, which is the way I'm going to show you in a minute, is you could make a paper plate tomb. Okay, so I'm going to show you that one now. It's very, very simple and very easy to do. So I fold my paper plate in half. I cut it into two. I put glue along the edge of my paper plate. I stick them together. You might have to wait a bit for the glue to dry. And then on one side, I've not cut mine very even, so I'm going to even that out so it stands a bit better. On one side, I'm going to cut out, you can cut that out before you glue them together, the shape of a tomb. And then I'm going to write "He is risen" on that one. Stick that to the side to show the stone rolled away. And once you've done that, you can decorate or colour it however you want. I've coloured the inside of the tomb black and left a bit white for the robes. I've stuck some grass on the bottom. You could do whatever you want to decorate and turn it into your Easter garden. As you do that today, why not ask God what heaven is like and what new life in heaven looks like? I'd love to hear if he says anything to you, if you catch anything from God. Have a really good Easter, enjoy the rest of our service, and hopefully I'll be able to see you all in person soon.